Thank you, Ambassador. It's wonderful to have you here today. Next, I'm going to introduce Congressman Robert Aderholt, but I just noticed something this morning about the congressman. Before I became chairman in 1991, Bonnet Bright was the chairman, and she was chairman for 8 years, and her co-chairman was Pat Boone, who was the legendary singer, author, actor, and he happens to be here today. And we all know that Pat Boone is famous for his white shoes. And so, Pat, would you stand up and let us thank you for coming today all the way from California? Now, when I asked Congressman Robert Aderholt to come up in a minute, I want you to notice what he's wearing on his feet. I think it's catching on, Pat. We love Congressman Aderholt. He's been such a wonderful sponsor for the National Day of Prayer. This room, the military quintet that was up here, all of the things that have to do with the Capitol on this day goes through Congressman Aderholt's office, and he has been there for us and has gone to bat for us, and we are deeply appreciative of him. He's serving his 9th term in the United States House of Representatives for the 4th District of Alabama. He's a member of the House Committee on Appropriations, House Cybersecurity Task Force, and Helsinki Commission, comprised of 56 countries around the world. He's chairman of the Subcommittee on Homeland Security. And as I said, he's hosted the National Day of Prayer now for 7 consecutive years. So would you please help me welcome Congressman Robert Aderholt.
Well, thank you, Shirley. It's an honor to be here. And yes, I wore my white bucks. I knew that Pat Boone would be here. And and it's that time of year so that the weather's getting nice. But it is an honor to be here this morning. And on behalf of my colleagues in the House of Representatives, the United States Senate, I want to welcome you to your Capitol. And in particular here to the Cannon House Office Building, where we're gathered here this morning for prayer. And to really ask God to bless our nation and to look upon our nation with favor. No doubt, as has been mentioned, the founding fathers and those that came before them came to this nation not to seek riches and not to seek fame, but to seek the ability to worship. And that is what has always made this nation great. It's a nation that looks to prayer and looks to religious freedom and be able to worship as we so choose. And may that ever be what this nation stands for, because only when we stand for those things will we be that light on the hill and that beacon of hope that we've been for over 200 years. I know that some of times you get discouraged when you hear things that are going on here in Washington with what's going on in the House and going on in the Senate. And the bickering that takes place. But I do want you to know that we do have a Congressional Prayer Caucus. And I tell you that not to say to give us any credit, but just to let you know to be encouraged. We ask a lot of times, and a lot of people pray for leaders, but as leaders here in Washington, D.C., it's important that we pray as well. And we gather each week when we gather to vote, the first vote of the week. We gather in the Capitol building and room just off the House floor for all the members, Democrats and Republicans, who want to come together and pray. And it's not, the media is not there, staff is not there. It's just there for members to come in and to pray together for a few minutes before we start out the week. And so, like I said, I tell you that not as to give any glory to anybody, but just to give you encouragement to know that there are members of Congress here that do realize the importance of prayer and how important it is. And so while we do continue to ask for our prayers, it's important that we pray for you as our leaders, as we pray, as we debate the votes that come before the U.S. House of Representatives and the United States Senate. Let me just close and just this morning when, and Shirley Dobson does a great job, and also John Borshine, they both do a great job, and they behind the scenes work that makes this happen every year. I've been honored over the last 7 years to be a part of trying to secure and be the sponsor of this event here, but really they're the ones that really make it work. So John and Shirley, thank you for your hard work. But this morning, I just want to close with a quote that I know that you've heard, but I think it's worth repeating. And Shirley mentioned this morning about how Benjamin Franklin had asked that the Congress, when they were in Philadelphia in 1787 to recess and ask for prayer. But one of the things that he said in his comments when he made his address on prayer was very fitting, I think, for today. And let me close with that. Benjamin Franklin's, his quote to Congress that day was, "The longer I live, the more convincing proof I see of this truth, that God governs in the affairs of men. And if a sparrow cannot fall to the ground without his notice, it is probable that an empire can rise without his aid. I therefore beg leave to move that henceforth prayers, imploring the assistance of heaven and its blessings on our deliberations, be held in this assembly every morning before we proceed to business." And even today, the House and the Senate every morning start the morning in prayer by a chaplain. And may that ever be the case, that we not only pray verbally, but also that we pray from our hearts and on bended knee. So may God bless you, and may God bless this National Day of Prayer. Thank you.